movie news. Yes, this is a live show, live news. Welcome to Mirror Domain's Movie News, your place for entertainment headlines. And indeed, this is a live news show for movie fans where we talk about all the trending news headlines of the day that you can see right here. Wednesday, Season 2, what are the possibilities? Super Mario Bros. Fallout a little bit, maybe, I don't know. Keanu Reeves talks about John Wick 4 and the spin-off with Ana de Armas. We'll look at the weekend's box office report, but we start off with a bunch of trailers that dropped today. And, actually, the one that dropped on the weekend was The Last of Us. And The Last of Us debuts, in January 15th, right? So Pedro Pascal is going to be there. And we just watched the trailer on the pre-show that I hope you guys checked out. We watched it like that, guys, because while we do the live show here, I don't want to get the copyright claim and takedown notices with the actual live show. So we watched those during the pre-show that we do. If there's like a trailer, then we watch the trailers on the pre-show. And I got to tell you, I liked it quite a bit. Okay, so let's just go take a look at some of the snapshots from this trailer. And I'll let you know my thoughts. I think it looks beautiful. I think this is going to be a great thing. And we're going to be doing full live watch-alongs here on the channel for The Last of Us. I'm pretty sure that Crave will get it. This will be something that's high in demand. It just looks like it's got that faithful adaptation thing going for it with the casting, especially with her, the girl from Game of Thrones that played like that young leader. But like all of this looks fantastic. All of it kind of worn down and stuff like that. We'll take a look at what people are saying in the comment section of this trailer in just a moment. But Pedro Pascal, I said it in my little reaction there. It does seem like it's a little like the character of Joel does seem a little similar to Mando, because it's like an older man looking after a younger person, kind of caring for that person, making sure that they find who they need to find. Okay, it's similar in that aspect, but it's obviously a different subject matter. Different tone, right? Because it's got like elements of horror. You know, people are fighting other people, but they're also on the run from vicious monsters, right? Or mutations. And it looks like they captured that fairly well. And it's about these two. So yeah, I kind of get the I Am Legend vibes from some of the inner city images of The Last of Us. Yeah, me too, actually. Good call there, Artglass Vikings. Definitely, I Am Legend for sure. You got vibes of that too. And then yeah, they meet up with other people. I don't know the rest of the cast for this, guys. We'll take a look. Did I pull that up on the IMDb? No, I didn't. But the trailer did a good job. It definitely did. Just kind of relaying to us that of what the tone is going to be, and it's going to be dark. And then I think you quickly got to see a creature come up here. Looks like it's rock or made out of tree or something. Maybe it's a beast that you guys know from the games. You guys will have to let me know. But I'm very curious about this. January 15th, just around the corner. Let's see what people are saying in the comments here. The 1 second theme just made me scream and sent goosebumps down my spine. So they did play a theme from the game, right? Looks like Pedro Pascal is adopting lost children again. And honestly, I'm here for it, yeah. Let's see what the reply was. To be fair, Pedro Pascal on HBO, I'm here for it already. Okay. The second trailer is a masterpiece, and I can feel it's going to be a great. Best storytelling in the game should become as good on a screen. Best of luck. Yeah. Okay, so he ain't even hurt is one of the best delivered lines in the game. HBO includes it. Okay. All right. So you got like the diehard fans coming out and checking this out too, right? Diehard fans of the game. God damn it, this looks amazing. I'm really sick to the games. I hope they really stick to the games and deliver the best new series of 2023. Well, it's starting us off for 2023 in the realm of series, right? So I'll be looking forward to that for sure. And I think it's going to butt up, if it's a weekly schedule, it's going to butt up right against Mandalorian for March 1st, right? Mandalorian comes out March 1st, so we're going to get our full fill of Pedro Pascal for sure. Let me just scroll down here and see what they're saying here. Amazing. I guess these are the showrunners, right? It's about the journey. It's entirely about the journey. I played The Last of Us about 12 times. I know how it ends. I love the journey, and we promise there will be surprises along the way. If you played the game, I promise you there are things you don't know that are coming that will blow your minds. Okay. So it's an adaptation, so they got to embellish a little bit here and there. They got to add a few new things and tweak it and adapt it, right? For the small screen or a series. Druckmann says there's stuff that was written that we didn't get a chance to put in the game that is in the show. So you'll get to see an enrichment of these characters. It's interesting. We've now talked to people who have watched the entire season and went back and played the game. And they said the game is now richer having watched the show. Okay, so it's people who've played the game are developing this, putting their input into it, and what it will do is when you watch the Last of Us, it'll make you want to go and play the game. Cool. That's cool. And that's a little bit of the advantage of it, right? The Last of Us will be different from the game's story. Some speculation in there. But overall, guys, that trailer, I thought it looked pretty cool. Have you checked it out? Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below, and we will talk about it. Speaking of which, guys, if you didn't know, we do a live news show here daily, 11 a.m. Eastern, Monday to Friday, where we talk about all the big movie news headlines. And you can follow me on the social medias right there, guys. You know how sometimes I publish a little bit of those shorts on the TikTok and Instagram. You can find extended versions of them there. Because I don't have the 1 minute time constraint here on YouTube, for sure. And you get to see some stories, behind the scenes stuff, kind of things like that. Okay. Dungeons and Dragons has a new trailer out this morning too. Dungeons and Dragons. Now, it was much more of a featurette, I would say, than a trailer, but they're promoting it as a trailer. Dungeons and Dragons is due out March 31st, 2023. Chris Pine, great cast. What does the synopsis say here? A charming thief and a band of unlikely adventurers embark on an epic quest to retrieve a lost relic. But things go dangerously awry when they run afoul of the wrong people. And the cast looks great in this. Chris Pine, Michelle Rodriguez. Well, hey, let's just go take a look at that so-called trailer. See, even here it says trailer, right? 2023. Now, it's like them sitting in front of like, I don't know, an interviewer here in character. I don't know. But like the visual effects actually look like they've come along nicely. But then, yeah, you see him in there in a jean jacket, and you can tell that it's much more of a featurette, but that's okay. Here's the thing I got about this is the Dungeons and Dragons thing is that it's hard to adapt this. Because at least The Last of Us followed a narrative of the video game, but Dungeons and Dragons is an adaptation of basically just a set of rules for characters. Because the story for Dungeons and Dragons, while there have been novels and stories about it, unless you follow one of those, it's so loose that it's whoever the storyteller, the dungeon master is, what story and campaign he wants to say. So it's kind of like, I don't know how this is going to be handled, but like the cast looks good. It looks like there's going to be like an evil wizard here. We've seen that evil wizard on a poster, right? On the poster, they put out a new poster. There's that evil wizard. Now it looks a little bit better here because on the poster. Let me just see if I can remove that banner for you guys. You see all the characters there, so that looks okay. But in the trailer, it looks not so good. Maybe it's because it's bright there. I don't know. I don't even know who that is. So we'll have to take a look at the IMDb here in a few moments. But I like the grandiose scope of it. It looks like they're trying to use the elements and the different locations as well. Michelle Rodriguez. Of course, we know her from the Fast and Furious franchise. Sophia Lillis looks like she's going to be like somebody who can change her shape. I don't know if she's going to be like a druid or something like that. I don't know how that works. because we've seen her transform in this little featurette. Roger Jean Page there from Bridgerton, right? Is that what he was from? Yeah. He's going to be in this. They just talk about their little experiences there. There's him hopping with the mandolin. Yeah, because he's a bard, right? He's a musician. But overall, guys, like the production values looks like it's on point. The set pieces look like it's going to be grand. Hugh Grant, I don't know if he's going to be the bad guy, because we already seen that female in the red there. I don't know if he's going to be like the mastermind, or if he's just going to be like, maybe he's the dungeon master. He's the one telling the story. I don't know. Maybe we'll take a look at the IMDb. But yeah, they talk about the different creatures and stuff, and we've seen that. I think this is her transforming, right?
You really can tell they put a lot.
Sophia Lillis. You see her transform.
Now that.
There seems to be a lot of them just sitting in front of the camera looking at something. Cause, yeah, see, there she's transforming, right? So, was she a bird there? Or some kind of a Wendigo creature? I don't know. Very fascinating. But like it looks like it's executed pretty well. And we saw Sophia Lillis in the It movies, so I'm looking forward to her work. Chris Pine. Yeah. Whoops. Of course that decides to go down into mini mode. I'm just sitting against the bar there. Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Amongst Thieves. Let's see what people are saying down here. I cannot wait to see this movie. This should be Dungeons and Dragons movie. This is how a Dungeons and Dragons movie should be, over the top and funny. I'm glad they are not taking themselves too seriously, just like the game. It's meant to be fun. They nailed some of the lore, and it looks like so much fun. It looks good, so people are saying that they like it. The more I see of this, the better it damn... What? The better it damn looks. The more I see of this, the better it damn looks. Okay, Brad, there you go. Can't wait. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't use people's names when I'm looking at their comments. Just in case, you know. Whatever. Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Amongst Thieves. Let's go over to the IMDb and take a look at what the cast is here. Oh, that's... who's the bad person here? So she is the druid. Her character name is just the druid. Oh, that's their names. That's just their names. Chris Pine is the bard. So they're not going to actually have names. They're just the characters. The barbarian. So Michelle Rodriguez is a barbarian. Justice Smith is a sorcerer. Paladin. Rogue. Okay, so he's a rogue. Daisy Head. So some of the characters that don't have names, I'm guessing those are the bad guys. I don't know why you couldn't disclose that information to us. It's not as if the bad guys are serious. So who's playing? Okay, so that's not the bad guy. That's not the one playing the red person. Is it Daisy Head? Daisy Head playing that one? Let's just see her profile. Does that look a little bit like her, guys? Is that Daisy Head there? I don't know. Why can't you tell us who she's playing? Oh, was she in... looks like she was in Sandman. Yeah, Judy Talbot. One episode. So she was in one episode, that diner episode of Sandman. I liked her in that. She was good in that. That was only the redeeming part of that episode. For me, at least. All right, guys. What do you guys think about the Dungeons and Dragons trailer, or featurette, as I would say? Yeah. So most people are digging it. They're excited for it. All right, guys. During the pre-show, we also took a look at the trailer for the Three Musketeers, D'Artagnan. Now, I realize that this is going to be in two parts at the end of the trailer. It's going to be a French spoken film. So April 5th is when the first part comes out. And then the other one said Christmas, right? So it's going to be in two parts. And the first part is called D'Artagnan, and the other one's called Milady, right? But what caught my eye was that it's Eva Green. She's going to be in this. Vincent Cassel's Athos. Okay. Aramis. D'Artagnan is Francois Civil. Richelieu was the bad guy, right? So maybe it's, wasn't it Cardinal Richelieu? I don't see his name here. King Louis the 13th. But Milady there. Guys, the trailer looked really good, actually. Let's pull that up. Let's take a look at that. It looks like it was like a dark, kind of a grittier version telling of the tale. And I thought that they would kind of skip some of the action behind it, but it was cool to see Eva Green talk in a different language. I guess she speaks French very well. Good enough to speak in a French language film. I like the color palette, like it's like that tone works for what they're shooting for. But yeah, Francois Civil is D'Artagnan, right? I'm not going to try to copy their accents. But yeah, Eva Green, and it does look like it's going to have some action sequences in it. But I just kind of like the tone of it. It's not that kind of Disney schlocky kind of Pirates of the Caribbean take that Mia Jovovich was in with her husband directing that crappy version. No, it's not like that. And then it's not like the colorful Disney one with Kiefer Sutherland either. I like that one. Oliver Platt was in that as well, right? That one was it's not the fun version of it. At least it doesn't look like that's what they're going for, but it looks like it's going for a much more grounded version of it, and I think that's cool. The Three Musketeers, and as I said, it looks like it definitely has the action sequences in it, a little bit of sensuality in there as well. Milady, the Three Musketeers. I'd go check out that trailer, and if you want to see my reaction for it, it's up on the pre-show today. But just at the end of the trailer here, it did say D'Artagnan is part 1, and then Milady is part 2, and it's going to be out on Christmas, so it's going to be a 2-parter. Eva Green is French. Oh, is she? Okay. I guess I didn't know that much about her, but I liked her in this, and that's cool. I think it's going to be like an epic kind of thing, right? Indeed. I like that story, and it'd be nice to revisit that. If you guys seen the trailer for it, let me know what you thought about it in the comments below, and we will talk about it. Okay, guys, let's just talk about what else you can find here on Mirror Domains. Let's take a quick break, because we do full live watch-alongs for things like Wednesday, where we watched all 8 episodes. It's hot right now, guys. Everybody's talking about this series. It's awesome. It's really awesome. My full series reactions are doing fairly well on the channel right now, actually. Thanks, guys. Thanks a lot. I'm actually very proud of that playlist. We banged those out in 2 days, and it was a lot of fun. Jenna Ortega is really, really cool. This was her year, I think, because she had this, she had X. We did a full live watch along for X as well. Oh, Wednesday is perfectly awesome. Okay, and well, we did a full live watch along last week for Godzilla vs. Kong. That was a lot of fun. That was up on the channel now as well. And on the weekend, we did a full live reaction for Troll. Yeah, on Netflix. And it was a kaiju type of week with King Kong, Godzilla, and a Troll. A Norwegian film. Very interesting. I know a lot of people aren't liking it, but I did. And then later on today, we'll be watching RR&R Part 1. So pay attention for that, guys. It'll be up live. It's because it's 3 hours, guys. I can't sit here for 3 hours, especially after doing an hour here in the morning. I got to get out and get moving. But we'll be watching the first half today, for sure. RR&R today, and it's only going to be the first hour and a half of it. And then tomorrow we'll do part 2. This is a movie out of Tollywood, right? It's a Telugu film, but we'll be watching it with the English dubs, so you guys can follow along with us and enjoy that. Now, normally, as I said, we do the Horror Weekly Roundup on the weekends, where we talk about all the horror movie news headlines, and then during the week we do the movie news here. Okay, so on top of that, we do trailer reactions, straight out of the theater reactions, movie reviews. Hey, it's all here on Mirror Domains. Hit that thumbs up on, guys. Subscribe and, participate in the live chats and stuff. Lots of live content here for you guys to interact. For sure. Indeed. And that being said, guys, it is Monday, so it's time for the weekend's box office report. Let's take a look at what the numbers are. Okay, let's pull it up, James. Whoops. Okay, so for December 2nd to the 4th for 2022, here are the top 5. Number 1 was Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Number 2 was Violent Night. Number 3 was Strange World. Number 4 was The Menu. Cool. And number 5 was Devotion. Okay. So it was asked in my pre-show out of Violent Night, and what was the other one that they asked about? Oh yeah, Bones and All. Well, Violent Night was the new release this week, and I went out and saw it. So my straight out of the theater and full review are up on the channel right now, and it pulled in 13.3 in the second spot. That's that David Harbour movie, right? Well, let's just take a look at Black Panther Wakanda Forever's number 1 spot, 17.5. And it only dropped, well, actually, it dropped a little bit more than I thought it was. I thought it would be around the 20 million mark for this week. It dropped 61% from last week. So it is dropping off. It's going to have one more week here, guys, because this next week coming up, nothing really big opens up. Top Gun Maverick got re-released in theaters last week, and it's going to have this week too. But like, there's nothing big new coming out in the theaters this week. This week we also have Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio coming out on Netflix, which we'll be doing a full live watch along here on the channel for that as well. But I think Black Panther is like, nothing's going to change here, I don't think, for the next week. So everything will just get shifted down a little bit. Maybe Top Gun will come back up a little bit, but I don't know. It is what it is. Black Panther will have one more week, and then Avatar comes out the week after that. So that'll be over 100 million. Yeah, so that's going to be number 1. Black Panther, though, I don't think it can complain. 393 domestically for a worldwide total of 733. Yeah, it's lost its steam. So I don't think, unless it's got some more markets to open up, I don't know if it's going to make up another $270 million to make the $1 billion. And I think that's expected. I had fun with Black Panther Wakanda Forever, but it wasn't like the best comic book movie of the year. People saw it because they wanted to pay respects to Boseman, right? And T'Challa, see what they were going to do, see how it was going to hand off. And I liked Tenoch Huerta as Namor, right? I thought it was good. So let's take a look at the Violent Night numbers. 13.3 domestically and 7 internationally for 20.3 million worldwide. Now, guys, I didn't have fun with this movie. Like, it was cool to see him throw down and fight the bad guys, but as I said in my reviews, you had to wait for an hour and 40 minutes for that to start to happen, and it was kind of like, I liked some of the lore that they were trying to inject into it in the background, like who was Kris Kringle before he picked up the bag of gifts and stuff like that. But it just I don't know. David Harbour says that he has plans for a Violent Night 2, and it was a movie that should have been an hour and 20 minutes, but it turned out to be an hour and 55 minutes, and it was kind of like, eesh. Because there are points in it where it's just two people talking in a room, and it's like, it completely loses its momentum. Just like see what happened to the show there? That's exactly what happens multiple times in Violent Night. Let's see what he said here about a sequel. We're hoping to start working on Violent Night 2. If everything goes well with the next few weeks, we have a tendency to just keep our heads down and focus on what's in front of us or near. So yeah, that's kind of it. We're in it. There's still 2.5 months to work to go on this one. Well, it also depends on how much money it makes, right? 20.3 million. What was the budget for Violent Night? The budget was 20 million. Okay, so if the budget was 20 million and it just made 20 million in its opening weekend. Now remember, guys, people are out there saying that Avatar 2's budget was 300 million and it's going to make 800 million to break even. So if we're going by that kind of logic, Violent Night would have to make 60 million to break even, right? It's not in the profits yet. And remember, guys, box office numbers go down. They rarely go up. They rarely go up unless it's like a smaller indie release that opens up in small theaters. Like spoiler alert, numbers just don't go up. It's rare if they do. And we saw instances of that happening with like the Fablemans and stuff. But even like that is kind of like capped out now that it's in more theaters. But it's still only in 638 theaters. Right now, guys, out of the movies in the theater right now, The Menu is the best movie out of the top 5. And then Black Panther. And then probably Devotion. Then Violent Night. And I haven't seen Strange World, so I can't even tell you about that one. I had fun with Black Adam, but yeah, Fablemans. The Fablemans is going to be the one that'll be getting a lot of awards consideration. So I would recommend checking that one out. And what was the Menu's number here quickly? 47.2 worldwide. So that's good. That's good. The Menu. What's this? I Heard of Bells was the other new one. Is that the religious one? Yeah. The inspiring story between Christmas Carol. Oh, Christmas Carol. Okay. A Christmas movie. Okay. Let's take some live comments here. Best comic book movie of the year was The Batman. Yeah, it's hard. Like if you think about what was better, if you only get two, the Batman or Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, easily the Batman. Easily. And out of all the other comic book movies, the Batman, like Thor, Love and Thunder, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, they don't even compare to the artistry that is the Batman. And we did a full live watch along for the Batman on the channel, so go check that one out too. That was, I want to watch it again. I need the 4K version steelbook. That's what I would want. Maybe I'll get that for Christmas. But yeah, Top Gun is back in the theaters, and it's only 700,000. Limited theater release, right? And the only one that didn't show up in the second week was Glass Onion, Knives Out 2, because it was only a 1 week run, right? So we didn't get to see that here. I would go tell you to go see Glass Onion if you could. And in fact, talking about that, Ryan Johnson was pushing for more theatrical of a run for Glass Onion. He was pushing for more. He wants a longer run for the next one. So if he does the next one for Knives Out 3, hopefully that'll stay in the theaters longer, because out of all the movies that I've seen out in the theater, guys, Glass Onion had the most people in it. It had the most people interacting with it, even compared to Wakanda Forever. More people were in Glass Onion than Wakanda Forever for me. And I think it was because of the limited release. And then you hear the stupid things about the Netflix CEO saying, well, it's just a promotional tool. We don't have any aspirations of taking any of that box office money for some stupid reason, which I think will bankrupt them or make, like, why would you cut out that cheddar? I can't wait to watch Glass Onion with you guys this month. We'll be watching it. It comes out, what is it? The 24th on Netflix? The 23rd. Okay. No. December 23rd, yeah. So we'll be watching it December 23rd, live here on the channel. Glass Onion, I'll be watching it with you guys, and it's probably going to be ending up in one of my favorite movies of the year for sure. So hopefully next time around, they get that fixed for Ryan Johnson, because it deserves it. That cast and Daniel Craig was so fun in that. Is that all for our box office numbers? Oh, there's just one more thing here. The China box office, One Piece film Red wins Quiet Weekend, while Avatar 2 release looms. This One Piece Red, I want to bring this up because this came out a while ago and it didn't fare all that well in the domestic market here, only 12.7 million. But the international numbers, because it's an anime film from Japan, right? 152.7. So you know that all the analytical people out there, the marketing people, they're looking at this and saying, well, look how much money is being left on the table here if we can't appeal to the Japanese audience, right? So there are people out there looking at the numbers, looking at polling and stuff like that, saying, well, how can we transform some of these Hollywood movies into appealing to that box office. And I don't think you should be doing that. I don't. Because anime it has its fan base. And I don't know how wide that fan base would stretch for other films. I don't. Because we saw adaptations for things like even ScarJo's Ghost in the Shell didn't fare all that well over there, right? So I don't know. But I recognized it this morning anyway because I saw the headline, and we were going to be talking about the box office today. So we're movie fans here. We'll just keep our eye on things. And of course, none of these international numbers don't seem to show anything from India, which is another big box office market, right? All right, guys, let's talk about Keanu Reeves and John Wick. Yeah, John Wick. Or one quick Keanu Reeves headline first. One Keanu Reeves headline. Constantine 2, Peter Stormare thinks that they might have waited too long for the sequel. Because we know that Keanu Reeves had signed on, and the director from the Hunger Games was coming back or going to do it, right? Francis Lawrence, was that it? You going to do it? But he thinks that maybe they waited too long because he played Satan in that one. He's a good actor, and I would imagine that they would have him back. Would have him back. Let's see what he says here. It was for me, but it's been in the talks back and forth. It was in talks, okay, so a year ago, 6 years after that. But also the studios are strange out here because they want the boom, crash, bang, and to do a sequel to Constantine, I'm sure there's going to be a million times more of the special effects and all that. I think Keanu, we have talked, he said. I want to keep it like the first one, simple, contained and based on characters, not on special effects. And if we can get that, then I'm not in it, with John Wick, Matrix. You saw Matrix, it's hard. Yeah. He's in it, Chad. The director's Chad. The director's in it, they know, but they wait 10 years. It's hard to reignite and get the same fire going and the formula. Well, I don't know. I think the reception to the announcement that Keanu said signed on to Constantine 2 was really, really good, positive. People said that they want him back, even though he doesn't have the blonde hair. Whatever. I had fun with the first Constantine. I still kind of want to see more, right? So, and Constantine will be one of those movies that will definitely benefit from the updated visual effects. Because when he went down to hell there, some of the CG people there, yeah, it can stand from the update for sure. Constantine 2. Godfather Part 3 is a great example. I don't know anybody who loves the Godfather Part 3. Well, I like parts of it. So he's saying, that's old Vikings saying we took this country. What? I think it's too long of a time. Things are going to screw it up because it's out there in the world, and as in the old Viking saying, you have to strike while the iron is hot. That's okay. So he wants to strike while the iron is hot. So he's saying that it's too long. But you know what? We just saw that Top Gun Maverick can prove that no matter how long of a time gap there is, you can still come back to that property. Constantine 2, I'll keep my eye on it. Right now, they're still developing the story, right? So there isn't even a script yet for it. So we'll have to find that out as we come along. Our Glass Viking says, I'm guessing you won't watch Violent Night again. Mark Kermode liked it, which surprised me. Oh, did he? Yeah, no, I'm not going to be watching Violent Night again. Byford the Hobbit says, ScarJo Ghost in the Shell changed the original story, and I was so upset. Yeah, I think a lot of people were with that. Again, it's with adaptations. I understand that you got to change things, but just don't drastically change things. That's when people get off the mark. And we'll talk about that too when it comes to Mario, about drastically changing things with the voice and stuff like that. But let's continue on with some more Keanu headlines and John Wick. Because John Wick comes out next year, and that trailer was really awesome for Chapter 4. Keanu Reeves calls John Wick Chapter 4 the hardest movie I've ever made. Yeah, so it's been a challenging. And we saw that the visual effects, the choreography, you know that he always gets into like the training for it and stuff, right? If you've ever seen some of his gun training where he's like changing out magazines and stuff like that at the gun range. He really gets into it. But it looks like this one's going to have a lot more martial arts to it as well. Because I think he shows down with Donnie Yen, right? A couple of times. John Wick 4 is the hardest movie I've ever made. In terms of action, it's the hardest film I've ever made. But that's what makes it good. Yeah, well, that's kind of a bold statement because he's done all the Matrix movies, John Wick movies, and this is the hardest one. I think it shows, too, in the trailer, which is good. Because after Parabellum, well, I liked Parabellum. I was worried that maybe the franchise would start to go down a little bit like this in quality, but nope. No. It's going to be right up there. John Wick Goes to War with the High Table. Yeah. So that's cool. And I'm looking forward to it. March 24th. Oh. So 1 week before Dungeons and Dragons comes out, we're going to get John Wick. Now, that'll be a battle at the box office. So Dungeons and Dragons will have week 2. It'll steal the thunder. So John Wick won't have 2 weeks in a row at number 1 unless Dungeons and Dragons really sucks. Oh, I don't know, but it's a different kind of audience, so it'll have some staying power there for sure. Yeah. And talking about John Wick, that ballerina spinoff, Keanu Reeves reveals when John Wick spin-off Ballerina takes place with Ana de Armas, right? We've been following that production here too. And yeah, the question did come up. When is that one going to take place? And it's been revealed. So the film Ballerina that Ana de Armas stars in is being directed by Len Wiseman, has already started filming. Yeah, we knew that. And it takes place between John Wick Chapter 3 and John Wick Chapter 4. Okay. So that's going to be kind of weird then for Chapter 4 to come out before Ballerina, because they're still filming Ballerina. We just heard that Angelica Houston is going to be reprising her role in Ballerina. So that's going to be cool. So now we know the timeline for that. I like how they're slow, like they're just, like, not a lot of people are talking about it, but they're like creating this expanded John Wick universe, and that's cool. I like that. I like that a lot. I just hope it's not emulating the same type of story where she's somebody who's being hunted by a lot of the assassins. Switch it up a little bit. I'm hoping that it's going to be like the Black Widow story that should have been told, right? Because that's pretty much what she's sort of like, right? Is Black Widow. I don't know. Well, I'll just see. That's what I'm looking forward to. So it takes place between Parabellum and chapter 4 there. Cool. Anyway, talking about Ana de Armas, or Armas, just a quick little headline here, because that Blonde movie came out this year on Netflix, and it didn't fare very well. It came and went. But Americans, well, the director says movie backlash was due to Americans not wanting only to see positive portrayals of Marilyn Monroe. No, I don't think so. Because you can do movies about people. Like, that's something that I'm worried about with the upcoming Whitney Houston biopic. Save the Last Dance or whatever it's called. Or Only I Can Sing. Is that it's coming out at Christmas. And, you know, Whitney Houston had a dark side to her with like the drugs and stuff, right? So if you're going to be doing that or telling us that stuff, I want to know about that stuff in the movie. And while bad stuff did happen to Marilyn Monroe, and the movie Blonde does cover that, I think it was the runtime. And I would agree with what people are saying here is that don't confuse movie backlash with just being bad reviews, that you just made a bad film. And I tried to watch Blonde. I sat down for it, and I think I got 30 minutes in, and I was already hitting the fast forward button. I was like, "Ooh, this is really dragging here, guys. This is slow." And it's 3 hours, and then I was kind of like, "I'm not." I like the trailers for it, and I like the casting. I wanted to like it. I just like it was like nails on a blackboard, like pulling teeth. I couldn't handle it. I wanted out. Maybe it was black and white that had to do with it as well. I just, yeah, Andrew Dominic, director. It just didn't work, man. Sometimes that happens. It just doesn't work. Um, and Armas, we know that she's going to be okay because she's going to be in that ballerina, and she was in Knives Out 1. So she's going to be fine. Blonde, it's not going to be up for any awards consideration either. So it's just not the fans of people of like Marilyn Monroe or people of movie fans like us. It's also the critics. What did Blonde do on Tomato Meter? Let's pull that up. Now I'm curious. Blonde Tomato, Rotten Tomatoes. Let's pull that up. James. 42%, 32% by the audience. So yeah, no. You can't backlash. Oh, it's a tough subject matter for sure. And I sort of maybe agree with him that, yeah, people want to see like the bright stuff, but also just don't make it 3 hours then, for crying out loud. Or make it a series. Make it a series. Let's take a look at a good one here. Ana de Armas delivers a truly extraordinary performance as the platinum superstar and icon, while Dominic and his collaborators discover endlessly inventive ways to recreate highlights from Monroe's iconography. All right, let's take a look at a bad one. From The Rigger. Andrew Dominic bludgeoning Marilyn Monroe biopic has all the signs of a passion project, but none of the rewards. And yeah, that's something that I would... I wanted to like it, but it happens. All right, let's talk about some backlash. Keeping on with that topic of a backlash. The Mario Bros. Movie. And this caught my eye, this article up on Screen Rant. And it's worth talking about. Super Mario Bros. Movie is repeating the ugly Sonic problem. What's this? Ugly Sonic problem? Well, we know what happened with the Sonic movie, right? We saw the first trailers for it, and people hated the design of Sonic. So they went back and made his eyes bigger and stuff like that. So how does that relate with the Mario movie? What are you talking about? We just saw the second trailer for Mario last week, and I thought it was cool, man. Seeing Rainbow Road and stuff like that. I think it's going to be good. So what are they talking about? The ugly thing. The controversy, obviously, is they got to be talking about Chris Pratt's voice, right? Saying that it doesn't fit Mario. The ugly Sonic problem. Yeah. Chris Pratt's voicing Mario has created a similar circumstance. Indeed. Mario can show what would happen if Sonic's design didn't change. Yeah, so there has been a few calls. I don't think there's been a petition or anything for him to change the voice. But this article goes on to suggest something rather audacious that did get out to me here. Why fans dislike Chris Pratt's Mario voice? Because he doesn't sound like Mario. It just sounds like Chris Pratt. That's why he didn't alter his voice that much. Anybody doing a yoo-hoo will sound sort of like Mario a little bit if you really, really try, right? But yeah, he sounded like Emmett, right, from the Lego movies. And you thought maybe you heard that he was putting all this work into developing his Mario voice, and in the first trailer, we didn't get it. It just sounded like Emmett, and that's what got people's feathers ruffled. But the responses from the second trailer, all of that stuff, I think a lot of people decided that they were going to be on board for it. So I was kind of like, there's a few people out there kind of like Angry Joe that still didn't like it. Still not going to give Pratt the pass, but I think I will. I'll give Pratt the pass on this. But they're saying it's too late in this article. Too late to recast Pratt. No, it's not, because it comes out in April. So there's still lots of time. And they work on these movies right up until, if it comes out in April, they're going to be working on it right up until like the middle of March. Like Revenge of the Sith, I think some of the last changes were done to it like 2 weeks before it came out. It happens. So they can go back, and all I would say is that if they really want to make a change, just go back and say to Chris Pratt, all right, come back in. Let's redo some of the lines. Can you Or maybe we'll just change the pitch on some of the lines. You know, fans aren't liking it, but we haven't seen it in context of the full movie yet, right? So for me, the trailer looks great. It's colorful. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, and they don't need to recast. Just kind of tweak it here and a little bit here and there. But as I said, we haven't seen the full context of it yet. So as far as backlash, that's what I would consider backlash, not negative reviews, right? I just wanted to put that up there as a comparison to the Ana de Armas story about the backlash of the story, right? But I'm still looking forward to Super Mario Bros, guys. What do you think about that story and that little comparison there? I thought it was a lot of fun. All right, let's take some live comments here. Byford the Hobbit says, some say Mario's booty was too small like Sonic's eyes. Maybe. Ardglass Viking says, I disagree. I think Mario's image is 100%. Ugly Sonic was terrible, but even that image made a funny cameo in Chippendale movie, which was hilarious. Well, they weren't talking about the visage. They're just talking about like how people didn't like it, and then they called for the studio to change it because they hated it so much that the studio changed it. The comparison is with the voice with Mario. They hated the voice of Mario so much they wanted them to change it. It's not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. As I said, the best they can do is just have Pratt come back and tweak it a little bit. And they say, well, there's not enough time. Yeah, there's enough time. It's not going to take a whole couple of months, 3 months for them to redub his voice and his lines. It wouldn't. It wouldn't, but that's just the comparison there. Lifer also says about Blonde. Blonde got a 14-minute standing ovation at Venice Film Festival. Well, that's Venice Film Festival is, again, those film festivals are people there that get brought in sometimes to see it. You get a bigger crowd of that people together. There's that shine to it, right? Afterwards, it's kind of like, well, Rotten Tomatoes proved what they were really thinking about it. Arglass also says, Whitney, about the Whitney Houston movie coming out. Whitney has a music legacy that should far outweigh the dramas behind the scenes, though sadly they were there. It should be an honest balance called I Want to Dance with Somebody. Yeah. I don't know why it's not called just Whitney Houston, but I saw the trailers for it on Devotion. It looks good. I don't know if it's the right time for a Christmas movie for her. I don't know. I'll have to see. All right, let's continue on with sort of a similar theme with Wednesday Season 2. This article was kind of audacious to me, so I pulled it here, and let's talk about it. Wednesday Season 2 can fix the show's Addams Family mistake. What? Mistake? Season 1, I thought it was pretty tight, and we had lots of fun with it. As I said, we did a full live watch-along for the series, and people really liked it. But a lot of people, like Netflix, posted a live stream of just her dance sequence on repeat, and it racked up the views, man. People are watching it. Just her dance sequence alone. And I posted my reaction to the dance sequence. Jen Ortega, big year. What do you mean fix the Addams Family problems? What are you talking about? Wednesday's not about the Addams Family. It's about Wednesday Addams. Luis Guzman was good as Gomez. I liked him as Gomez for the limited use that they used him. And I think that's why it did work, because it was limited use. I liked the relationship between Morticia and Wednesday from Catherine Zeta-Jones. Catherine Zeta-Jones was really good in it too. Pugsley, we didn't really get much. We didn't really need him that much because it's about Wednesday. The series is all about Wednesday, guys. Spoiler alert. I guess that's what this article is trying to say, is that why the Addams Family is hardly in Wednesday, because they didn't need to be, man. They didn't need to be. It was cool to see Fester. Fred Armisen was in there as Fester. But this article is trying to say that season 2 should have more of the Addams Family. And no. I think they used them appropriately. Because if you bring more of the Addams Family, then the focus gets taken away from Wednesday. And that's not what the series is about. You don't understand the property. Whoever wrote this article up on Screen Rant. I'm not going to call them out, but you can probably see their name right there. So I don't agree with this article, but I wanted to pull it because it's just somebody just not understanding the property, not understanding it. Because I had a lot of fun with Wednesday, and overall, I think it was probably one of my favorite series of the year so far. Indeed, Jenna Ortega, Wednesday. Do you guys think that season 2 should have? I think they'll be back. I think you'll see them again, more again. I just don't think you should have more of them, and I would hardly call it a mistake. Like that's grotesque. That's a grotesque headline. I can't agree with that. But we know that the showrunners. We did a story last week that the showrunners did plan for more seasons of Wednesday, and it's set up perfectly for kind of like a Hogwarts situation where every year she comes back and gets into more adventures. There you go. That's what it'll be about. All right, guys, where are we sitting? 11:52. Wow, this hour is just blown by. Okay, let's get into some hit or miss headlines. This is where if the headline's a hit, we'll talk about it, and if it's not worth talking about, we'll just move on. Okay, The Witcher recasting. Henry Cavill will bring a new energy to the Netflix series. A new Geralt, Liam Hemsworth. I pulled this because somebody made a mock-up of him. Oh, no. You know what it's going to bring? A new energy? That sucks. The overall impression is that I think it'll get season 4, but then people will be off the bandwagon. And Netflix is not afraid to pull that plug on something when it's not working. They just did it to The Midnight Club. They've done it to a lot of stuff. So Netflix is not afraid to do it. What did he say? Something audacious here, right? I'm so excited for viewers. I think it's just a new chapter for us. And I think new chapters bring new energy and that people will find things to love. So yeah, personally, I'm really excited. No, that's a miss. That's a miss headline. Let's move on. Batgirl fans continue to petition James Gunn to save the movie and give them Brendan Fraser's Firefly. Well, I think this one's kind of a hit for me because I actually was looking forward to this. I wanted to see this. Brendan Fraser is going to be was going to be the bad guy, Firefly. There he is in his costume. I was really like $90 million. They pulled the plug on this, and I guess there is a petition out there for this to come to light. James Gunn, now that you're head of DC, can you release the Batgirl? Well, that was Zaslav. So James Gunn answers to Zaslav, and Zaslav decided to pull the plug on that one. So I don't think he has the say to overstep Zaslav, right? He's still in control of everything, but he can't make a command decision quite like that. He gets to develop and create the direction of the DCEU moving forward, not backwards. And Batgirl is backwards, would be moving backwards. And it sucks. It sucks because I liked all the production photos of it. And I think Leslie Grace there, I thought she looked great as it. I was keeping my hands, but a petition to release it, I don't think that's going to work, guys. It rarely does. What did James Gunn release on the weekend? He released a poster for Blue Beetle instead. And let's take a look at that. That's kind of a hit, right? Blue Beetle. Only in theaters, 2023. So it's just a logo. Kind of, a little bit Transformer-esque with like the Autobot. Very Autobotish. But Blue Beetle poster. Teaser poster, I would say. That's not bad. That's not bad. Arglass Viking says, yeah, I think the audience at large should decide on the validity of Batgirl, though I have my doubts on its quality. The thing about Batgirl, though, I don't care if it sucks. I'll watch it, and if I don't like it, I'll tell you that I don't like it, but I'm still curious to see it. I know that the fan base out there that are wanting to see it is not going to be enough to generate the revenue that they were hoping to get back for it, but I guess the incentive to take it as a tax write-off. I don't understand that process. I don't. I don't understand how it's more profitable to write it off and get the tax back for it than to actually release it in the theater. Like, that should not be the incentive. That should not be an incentive for studios to have. They should just release it. Put it out on streaming. Yeah. That's kind of a hit. I would say that's a hit because we also got the Blue Beetle poster there too, right? Looking for that. Yeah, just going on talking about the Batgirl. The directors still want to be part of the DC, and they still work with Warner Bros. Yeah, it was two guys, and these two guys directed. What was it that they directed that came out earlier? Bad Boys for Life, and I didn't mind Bad Boys for Life. So that set them up for Batgirl, and they said that they would still work for them, which is good. So there's not bad blood from them. It kind of sucks for them because they were on like vacation or something at a wedding, at a like a friend's wedding or something, and then they found out the news that it was getting canceled. It sucked for them. I felt bad for them, and I felt bad for Leslie Grace. Because it just looks bad on the resume. The overall thing, we've gone over it. Like, this will be one of the big stories of the year, right? It's got to be one of the kind of like, eesh, $90 million canceled, just like that. It sucks. YouTube Steamy Awards. Steamy? Streamy. Mr. Beast, top creator. Full list of winners. I don't even know what the heck this is. I don't do YouTube to try to win awards. I do YouTube to try to get views, so I should be trying to watch things like Mr. Beast and stuff like that to try to learn some lessons on how they develop their channels or develop their videos. But I do live streaming. I talk about movie news, so it's kind of like I don't think it's compatible because he does like skits and stuff like that, right? Challenges or whatever. Got nothing against him, and it sounds like he spends his money in a cool way, right? Like he donates a lot to homeless people, and he seems like he's a pretty good dude. So yeah, and he beat PewDiePie this year for most subscribers, right? Mr. Beast. I should watch his channels just to learn techniques, strategies, if I were to be good at being a YouTuber. But for me, the acclaim, I don't really care about that. And finally today, guys, Kanye West resurfaces on Instagram after his Twitter suspension. And then he goes after Elon Musk, saying that he thinks that he's Chinese or something like that. And it's like, oh, Jesus. Oh, yeah. I said it last week. This is going to be a miss for me. So he's just going around to the last few social media platforms spouting his jargon and his nonsense. That's a miss. I don't even want to talk about that. I was going to go on a big long spiel about it because he's just becoming the punching bag, right? People are going to be using him as the punching bag for jokes and stuff like that. And Borat, Sacha Baron Cohen came out as Borat to roast them. Why not? It's justly deserved. Justly deserved. Right? Just as I said last week. The less we talk about him, the better. So I'm not even going to read what he said anymore. Unless he does something audacious or I actually get a headline where it's just like he's off all social media platforms. Nobody's talking about him. No one's bringing him on the shows. I saw the thing with Alex Jones. It was awful. It was terrible. And it's just a place that I don't want to go. I don't like it. It makes me feel gross. I don't like feeling gross. I don't want to feel gross. Maybe that's why people didn't go see Blonde either, is because people don't want to feel gross, right? Yeah. So let's see if I missed any big headlines here, and if not, we'll round out the day by taking a look at the old Twitterverse, which I'm just refreshing and pulling up right now, and we'll take a look. Okay. The Boys spinoff. I don't watch The Boys, so there you go. Don't need that. Some interesting headlines. All right, let's go take a look at the old Twitterverse, and we'll round out the day. We're already over an hour. Okay, and I got to get my breakfast in if we're going to be watching RR&R this afternoon. A thread of actors who turned down were replaced major roles part 2. What? I don't know what the heck that is. Paul Dano and Brian Tyree Henry on Variety as actors on actors. That's cool. Anna de Armas and Eddie Redmayne. Adam Sandler and Brendan Fraser. That would be a cool one to watch. I like these little things of like the actors talking to each other, telling each stories and their perspectives. That's those are always like fun to put on in the background while you're doing some other work and just hear stories. That's cool. Carey Mulligan and Margot Robbie. That'll be a good one to listen to too as well. She was just in a bomb called She Said. And she was just in a bomb called Amsterdam. And potentially another bomb called Babylon. But I do like Margot Robbie. Don't get me wrong. I do. Glenn Powell. Kate Hudson. Well, we just saw Kate Hudson in Knives Out, Glass Onion, and we're going to see her this month again, too, and on this channel. Glenn Powell, we just saw him in Top Gun Maverick and Devotion. He was in Devotion. He was good in Devotion. The guy can act. He can. I expect to see his star on the rise in the next year or so. Letitia Wright and John Boyega. Wow, there's a lot of them. Austin Butler and Janelle Monáe. That's one I'd want to see. She was awesome in Glass Onion. And, of course, he was great as Elvis. And I look forward to him in Dune Part 2 as Fade. Yeah. Jamie Lee Curtis and Colin Farrell. That'll be a cool one, too. Wow. I really like the Banshees of Inisherin. I hope he gets a nomination for that because he was really good in that. And who doesn't like Jamie Lee Curtis? She's always good. Wow, a lot of people. So I'm not going to read all these names, guys, because it's like the end of the year ones. Oh, Jennifer Lawrence and Viola Davis. I'll be looking forward to that one. Because I like Jennifer Lawrence. What's the last one? Kate Blanchett and Michelle Yeoh. Ooh, that'll be a good one. That'll be a good one. Kate Blanchett. Florence Pugh at Bifa. We like Florence Pugh. Janelle Monáe, Best Supporting Actress at Atlanta Film Critics Awards. Cool. Colin Farrell wins Best Lead Actor at Atlanta Films Critic. Kang-Wao Kwan wins. Kate Blanchett wins. RR&R wins Best International Picture. All right. Yeah, we're watching that, guys, in just over an hour. It depends on how long it takes for me to put together my breakfast here. Maybe 1:15. We'll get ready. We'll get underway. I do want to get at it at 1 o'clock, though, because I got things I need to do this afternoon, too. So do these actors on actors drop all at the same time, or is it a series? I don't know. Let's go back up and take a look at one. Actors on actors series. So maybe, no, it sounds like it'll be a series that comes out at different times of the year. It's not going to be batch drop, I don't think. On the Varieties YouTube page, I think. Del Toro, Pinocchio. We'll be watching that later this week, guys. A new poster for Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah. Top Gun, Best Stunt Work. All right. Michael Giacchino wins Best Original Score for The Batman. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, for sure. Cool. Yeah, The Batman. I hope that gets some awards recognition. At least for like cinematography and stuff like that. Austin Butler wins Breakthrough Performance. All right, guys. I'm running overtime, and I want to make sure that I get on time for RR&R. What's this? New trailer for Teen Wolf movie has been released. Okay. I guess I kind of missed that. If you're a Teen Wolf fan, then you want to go check out that trailer for a Teen Wolf movie. New trailer. All right. Let's round it up there, guys. I'm running a little bit over time. Thank you very much for joining me today, guys, and join us tomorrow at 11 a.m. for more movie news and part 2 of RR&R. Hopefully I enjoyed the first part. Indeed. Maybe maybe it was so good that I just continued watching it all the way through. Who knows? Maybe we'll do that. It really depends. I don't know if I've got 3 hours to sit here all afternoon, guys. But hey, it is what it is. See you next time on Mirror Domains.